Greetings, lovely ones, handsome ones. Today I felt to talk about passion, and what I mean by passion is, what am I passionate about? What are you passionate about? You know, sometimes, and I know it's been the case with me, it's been not easy, challenging to narrow down one thing that I'm most passionate about, which is, of course, ideal, not necessarily mandatory, but you know, when you awaken in the morning, what excites you? What is your reason for getting out of bed? One of the clues someone suggested to me one time was, think back on your childhood. What was it that you really loved to do? Now, me personally, when I thought back on my childhood was filled with music and art. And one of my greatest joys was spending time drawing with my sister. We would spend hours doing that. We would also draw our own paper doll clothes. We'd buy paper dolls, cut everything out, and then add to their wardrobe things that we created. And I remember enjoying art class in school. Of course, I loved music too, which is a very natural gift for me. However, art seems to trump it. Then the harder part was coming up with, well, which aspect of art, do I enjoy the most? I still haven't gotten extremely clear on that, but fabric art for sure is something I really love doing. So be thinking about what makes your heart sing, something that you could do all day long and never tire of it. In the art world, I have a variety of interests. I've coached art to children for about 5 years, and I'm not doing it currently now. I've learned to do acrylics, watercolor, colored pencil painting. The fabric art was something, the way I do it is something I invented myself. So maybe that's telling me something. I've done paint pouring, knitting and crocheting and sewing, which are art forms, creative pursuits, and other things. So be thinking about what really makes you happy, because it's time for us to really live, to enjoy life to the max. And if we can drop expectations about our creation, say you want to sit down and paint, it's ideal to do so without any preconceived notions. I mean, having a vision is not wrong, and it's not wrong to use a picture for reference, but the most rewarding is just sitting down and allowing yourself to paint, allowing it to flow. And that's why I love abstract and modern art so much, because it's that kind of art. But you can do so with anything. I did a kind of a portrait with modern art background, the last painting I did, and it just flowed out of me. It takes practice, so don't get discouraged, but if it's something you've always wanted to do, something you did as a child, for example, do it. Don't be afraid to step out and do it. Your innate knows just what to do, and do your best not to judge what you do. You know, I've been really bad about that in the past. My perfectionistic template likes to come up and criticize what I've done. However, and that was the case with the last painting I did, even though I thought I'd gotten over that. But after a good night's rest, I awoke and I really fell in love with the painting. And I've done this, you know, other paintings I've done years before. When I look at them now, I don't know why I criticized them. So there's no right or wrong, especially with art. Yes, there's techniques. You could, you know, if you want to learn the technique of acrylics or the technique of anything, doesn't have to be painting. I'm just using that because that's my thing. You can go to someone who can show you the technique, show you a few tips, or go online, go on YouTube, you know, to get yourself started. Because I know when my first acrylic painting was a disaster. And so I just threw in the towel right then and sent all my paints to my sister, who's an artist, and just said, no, I don't want to do anything messy. So, yeah, so everything that we do is perfect in its own way. I like to call my creations perfect in perfection. So find your passion, love your life, and be passionate about little things. You know, I enjoyed my meditation this morning, which in times past has sometimes just seemed more like a chore, to quieting the mind. It was very pleasant today because I chose to make it so, and just didn't let my mind tell me lies. So anyway, let me know in the chat what your passion is, if you know what it is. Or you can come back later and share it. But just start considering, what is it that makes me happy, makes me feel joyful, and do it. All right, until next time, much love.